Have you ever stopped to think that you might be ignoring the greatest revelation the Bible has to offer? Something so transformative, it could change everything you know, everything you believe. Have you ever wondered if there is more to God's plan than what you already know? What if I told you that this revelation is within your reach, waiting to be discovered, but you simply haven't noticed it? Are you ready to hear it now? Because if you don't listen today, it may be too late. The Bible contains deep secrets, secrets that aren't hidden in secret codes, but in eternal truths that have the power to change our lives, the way we see the world, and our relationship with God and others. The question is, are you ready to discover it now? It's not too late, but the time to act is now. Don't let the distractions of life keep you away from this truth. Are you ready to dive deeper into the scriptures and discover something that could transform your life completely? I invite you to reflect. How many times have you read the Bible and felt like something was just out of your reach? How many times have you read and passed by certain passages, never really understanding their deeper meaning? Maybe you've read passages that seemed too simple, or ones you already knew by heart, but never realized the hidden power in those words. The truth is, the Bible is not just an ancient book of stories and laws. It is alive, and it has the power to change your heart, transform your mind, and heal the wounds of your soul. But what is this great revelation I'm talking about? Have you already found it, or are you still searching? This revelation is not something distant, something that only scholars can understand. It is right in front of us, in the simplest words, in the parables, in the promises of a God who loves unconditionally. Did you know that the greatest biblical revelation is rooted in the idea of unconditional love? Something that goes beyond human understanding. A love that is not based on merit, but on grace. When you read the scriptures, you see a God who not only created the world, but who deeply cares about you, about every detail of your life. A God who offers forgiveness, compassion, and a new chance to everyone, regardless of what they have done. Have you reflected on this? Have you realized how deep this love is? Because the greatest revelation of God is not about rules or doctrines. It is in grace. And this grace is something that challenges us to see life in an entirely new way. Many of us are conditioned to live in a world of merit, where the idea of forgiveness seems almost unreachable. But when we understand God's unconditional love, we understand that, through Christ, we have free forgiveness, offered to all, without exception. This is not a vague or distant idea. It is real. It is accessible. Do you feel the weight of forgiveness in your life? Or have you been carrying the guilt and regrets of the past as if there were no solution? Maybe you look at your past and think, I've done things I can't forgive myself for. Is there anything I can do to change this? The answer is in the Bible. The answer is in Christ. He came to the world to show us that, through him, we have forgiveness and redemption. It doesn't matter how much you have failed or gone astray. God's love is greater than any mistake. Do you believe this? If you had the chance to start over, to live without the shadows of the past, how would your life be? What would you do differently if you knew that forgiveness has already been offered to you? And with it comes transformation and new life. Imagine that you could experience God's forgiveness and begin to live in a completely renewed way. How would that feel? Do you think you understand the depth of this truth? Maybe you've heard about forgiveness, but you've never truly experienced its transformative power. Many people around the world are stuck in a cycle of regret and guilt, without understanding the true freedom that comes from accepting divine forgiveness. Are you ready to be free? Because the Bible doesn't just talk about forgiveness, it talks about liberation. Liberation from fear, anxiety, regret, guilt, and everything that keeps us from living the full life that God has prepared for us. When you embrace God's grace, you begin to live in freedom. And this freedom is not something abstract or utopian. It is practical. It changes the way you see life, how you relate to others, how you deal with daily challenges. When you understand how deeply loved you are by God, you begin to see things differently. You begin to realize that difficulties are not the end, but opportunities to grow. You begin to understand that obstacles do not define who you are. It is God's love that sustains you. And maybe you ask, how can I live this out in a real way? The answer is simple, but transformative. Live by faith. Faith is not just believing in something. It is trusting fully. It is believing that what God promises, He will fulfill. When you live by faith, you begin to experience the transformation that comes from this trust. And this is where the biblical revelation becomes even more powerful. Because when you start to live by faith, everything begins to make sense. Life begins to have purpose, and you become part of something much greater than yourself. But for this to happen, you need to be willing to accept this revelation. Are you ready for that? Or will you continue living as if everything is fine, never exploring the power of God's grace in your life? The choice is yours. Time is passing, and every day you delay this decision is an opportunity lost. The time is now. Don't wait until tomorrow. God is ready to transform your life now. There is no more time to waste. Accept the revelation. Accept grace. Accept forgiveness. Accept freedom. Because when you accept this truth in your heart, your life will never be the same. You will be transformed. You will see the world in a new way. You will experience a love that cannot be described in words. You will experience the greatest biblical revelation ever given to humanity. And when that happens, you will know that you've finally found what you've been searching for all along.